This is tape two, and this today is the 8th of July, 2014. I'm going to continue about. I did a book on mind control and how people are being programmed. Really, the children from a very young age. And all you have to do now, back when I was writing about it, Larry Flint was shot, Dwayne Williams in Atlanta. I could go on and on. One that I haven't mentioned, they've been deliberately done in patterns, the mind control murders, and that's what I was writing about. The Sharon Tate and the Folgers coffee heiress, and what was her husband's name? He was the Russian director. And it involved Doris. Well, no, it didn't. Doris Day's son. They tried to bring Terry. I can't think of his name. I guess I've been doing this all these years. You can't even carry this stuff. I remember it, but anyway, uh, it gets into the murders and I need to do this tape again because I didn't mean to put this on here. Who's the guy that's out Manson? Okay, that's programming, and the murders of Sharon Tate, and that, if you remember, she was pregnant, so that was mind control. So these have been done in patterns over the years deliberately. It's mind control is not visible. So it's a weapon that now has grown. Uh, Edward Snowden touched the tip of the iceberg because they can go out and put anybody under mind control and you don't know it. They teach you the Morse code at a low level and you're being programmed. And if you found out, where would you go with it? They'd lock you up and tell you you're crazy because the mental health is being used when it's really mind control, and one has nothing to do with the other, like the Terry Timothy McVeigh. He's dead. Oklahoma City bombing. You got a whole list of them. I can't go on. The ones that have been just done recently in Tucson, Arizona, in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, the James Holmes. I mean, he's being tortured illegally with so-called medication, which is a lie. They're torturing him. He's under mind control. It has nothing to do with mental illness. You talk about a misdiagnosis in the Columbine, so you can keep going here. But I wanted to finish this. They've used, and I wanted to clarify something here so that it's on video. In '86, when I came here, I couldn't get jobs anymore. I'd run into political campaign to replace one of the doctors that I wrote about, Congressman Larry McDonald. And his plane had been shot down, and there was a special election August the 31st of '83. Larry Flynn had been shot while I was doing the book in Cobb County, Marietta, Georgia, and this is where so much of this was done. The murders that I wrote about, Warren and Rosina Matthews, were pathologists, forensic pathologists at Piedmont Hospital. That was basically Larry McDonald, congressman, urologist. His family, if they didn't own it, they sure had a big part in running it. And also the murder of Gene Srokerman. So important in all this. Anyway, they've used my illness when I came here. I couldn't get jobs anymore, and I came here in '86, October of '86, and I'd found out about my kidnapping and my real name after I did the book and tried to get it published and all this. And I had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of '79, ongoing investigation, national security involved, and it was signed by the U.S. Attorney, William Harper from Atlanta. Now, I want to go into this because I really want to clarify. They've used my illness against me, and I've really been shut down. People don't want to hear it. They know it's true. That's not the problem. It's almost like a plague. People aren't immune to it. And I think in their mind, well, they don't like me, number one, because I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace, and I put this on other videos, the one just prior to this one that links. So then, if this is sounding random, it's kind of hard to put it together. And I really just wanted to do this about affordable specifically, because I've stayed over the years since I came here on and off at their places on Balance Cooperman. And he's gotten, I suppose, quite wealthy now. He owns extended stays. He owns a bunch of these all over Virginia and maybe in other states. And basically, they're pretty nice. But then that's not how they've treated me. Mine's political, and like everywhere else I've stayed, the law has already planned it out, and I've told Liz I can name names, and that's the problem. If I live, I already have put it on YouTube and hand it over to the media and all that. And they won't publish it because the very people that kidnapped me, the Rockefellers, the New World Order, own the media, really. And it's not in the citizens of this country, at least they think, in their best interest to tell the truth. But I wanted to get this on here. I had stayed at these places, and every place I've stayed, they've soaked me with chemicals that would kill a horse. I've said that and I mean it. My immune system is made to attack itself when I inhale certain chemicals and fumes. And basically, I should live a, a good life at most places if it's not deliberately done, and that's the point I'm making. They get stuff on people, law enforcement, or some people just don't care. They're willing to do it. Now then, I'd stayed for 14 months at a place, and it was sold, and I had to leave. And I came back here again to Affordable Corporate Suites on Northern Drive. It's called Corporate Suites, but the same thing. And I was in a room that was more expensive. I had to go there quick, and so the owner, Debbie McKay, told me that she would put me in a studio 115 that I had coming up. But she said that it had to be cleaned thoroughly. The woman lived there for 2 years, wasn't coming back, so they had to clean the carpet and et cetera, make sure it was okay, and that I could not move in until that was all done. Well, a couple of days later she came in, and Terry Sawyer, someone who's been involved in all this, he is in law enforcement, with law enforcement. Anyway, she came in while he was there, and I thought that was kind of odd. She picked that time. But she came in and told me, well, the studio, I would have to go ahead and move into it if I wanted it because they were renting my room that I was in. Now, I'd paid the rent. There was never any rent past due 1 second. So Terry's sitting there, and he says, well, I'll have her move tomorrow. Well, the room hadn't been cleaned. And she also told me, put a note on the door, she put a letter on the door, that they would do an annual shampooing of the carpet, cleaning of the carpet and upholstery. Well, she had just got through she put that through the door. Then she come back and told me in front of Terry that I had to move if I wanted that studio. She had also told me that I couldn't have it until it was thoroughly cleaned and the carpet and everything done for me to move in. Now she's telling me I got to move in if I want it, and they've rented the one that I'm in. So I moved the next day, and this is the only time I ever said they couldn't clean the carpet because this was so planned and everything. And the carpet, by the way, I walked around on with my socks, and there wasn't any dirt at all. The apartment was clean, perfectly clean, really. But here's what she's put in here when she told me to get out, that she's going to have me hauled off the property by the police. And believe me, they would. The police do not support me. She's talking about me saying that I have an immune deficiency. It's one I'm around. They've known it. This Cooperman, you'd have to go back in it. They have deliberately, and this one's going out. I'll say this. The only time I ever told them they couldn't come in and shampoo the carpet was during this time when they told me that I couldn't move into this one. They were switching me to 115, the studio, and that I couldn't move in until the carpet was cleaned. And then she comes and tells me I've got to. and the